ass back and jump into the bag. Ain't coming, ain't.
I saw the whole thing coming. I ain't facing your ass back and jump into the bag. To the bag, to the whole thing coming. Jump into the bag.
I saw the whole thing coming.
Jump into the bag.
I saw the whole.
We are something else.
All right. Welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 221. Clouds. Oh, here we are. Just the three of us on a Takeover Thursday. Second Thursday of the month. Must be Takeover Thursday. Welcome in, Takeover Trina. CB. Oh, yeah, and we're off in the chat. We got Kendall B. We got Dave J on the mic. We got Risa. We got Kasia. We got regular old guy. What up, Cardo? Who else is in here? Tia, good to see you. And our bro, E. Rich, who is on assignment tonight. So, oh, look at the comments showing pictures and all that. Is that an upgrade? That's dope. That's dope. Everybody off mute. Episode 221. Let's make this one move right here. All right, Takeover. Welcome. Happy Thursday. How are you?
It is Takeover Thursday. I'm happy to be here with y'all. The week has been like wild. Work has been like yikes, but we are here now, and to the weekend here we are headed. So let's get it.
Absolutely. I know my brother right there. CB's got a story to tell. CB, how is the week? Fat Tony was good, bro.
I'm ready for the weekend, bro. Ready for this week to end. This has been a unique week, a one-of-a-kind week at work. So I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and yeah, we just got to get there.
So look, that's all you can ask for. Jen Glenn, welcome in. Snarky Matt, good to see you. Yeah, so my week, I'm back. I've been gone from I've been out of touch for the past 4 days or so, 4 business days or so, and I returned. Well, once I hit my road trip, y'all know with the Dreamville. Let's go ahead out the way. There's the cat's out the bag, no secret. Went to Dreamville. On my way to Dreamville, I got that 8:00 meeting thrown on my Teams message about that emergency meeting we had to have at work that day. Like, yeah, although this may be significantly important about what's happening in the world right now, I'm not going to log in at all. I'm not. And as you notice, only 3 of us. E. Rich is on assignment. Shout out to my bro. Amazing time down in Dreamville. For it to be the last one, they this is Trina got that workout photo lipstick. For it to be the last one, I'm it's a little bittersweet. And Dimitri, welcome in. For it to be, the last one, Ubi, good to see you. I'm torn, but I'm happy the way they ended. So I'll go in them. I got to figure out what part I'm gonna tell tonight and what part I'm gonna slight tease for tomorrow. But I will say, we know this is the last Dreamville headlined festival, right? Because they did announce Thursday on the way down there that there was going to be a festival still in place in Raleigh for the next 4 years. It just would not have the Dreamville label on it. And no one knows what that means. They did say Cole was going to stay on as an advisor. We don't know if he's going to, rebranding. They don't know if he's going to stay on as the headliner of the year, but it is truly no longer the Dreamville Festival. So you won't have the presence of Kaz, Boss, Omen, JID, Loot, Ari Lennox. You won't have the presence of seeing all those artists, they're Dreamville artists. My first thought was gentrifying it because it is significantly, It is a massive like black festival. Creamville. Now, I said that at Kendall's show yesterday that it was going to be rebranded, gentrified to Creamville. You're gonna start getting some of these acts. Going to be Paula Cole headlining instead of J. Cole. It's going to be like that, but I don't know. I got a feeling that they're going to try to keep the family environment going. It's just different. I mean, who knows what it's going to look like? But Cole did address the crowd. You know, he was the only one that really addressed it. All the artists were like, we don't know what this means. We just know, it's going to look different next year. But Cole, Post Malone, absolutely. But Cole did get up there and says, look, yeah, it's the Dreamville name is going away. The festival will live here at Dorothea Dix Park. He's just tired of doing it. And you get that, as it felt very close to home put together, like Cole and Eve and maybe a small team put it together. And you got to imagine after the festival ends, you already planning for next year. Permits, getting the park, all that. So a small team doing it to the fact that Live Nation is taking over, it's going to be a bigger scale now. And I don't know. We'll see what it looks like. I'm not going to speculate. Budweiser sponsor. It's going to be all kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, the fact that Live Nation has something to do with it now, and it's not going to be, who knows? Who knows? But if you haven't experienced any of the 5 Dreamville festivals, shame. But all that said, look, we got a few things to get into tonight. Where are my notes? I have my notes somewhere. Oh, right here. So we talked Dreamville. Good time off. Always take your time off. Use your time off if you can. I know my brother CV. I got a good Biscuitville story. So, and then there was a meetup. I met up with another Beehive member, and I was trying to decide if we'll talk about that tonight or tomorrow. But we'll get there. And then I've been, so when you come off these vacations, and people always motivated to do something else, and I go back to their 9 to 5, like that's always their big statement. Like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I don't want to have to go back to my job. So now look, as many people come to me for podcast questions or production ideas, I need to look into that avenue of going behind the scenes and producing some of these other podcasts and putting some graphics behind these other folks.
Yes.
And collecting a check. So if you're in need,
right.
And if you're one of the people that have reached out, the plenty of people that have reached out, maybe we can do some business. Maybe I'm finally ready to take you up on your offer. But all that said, we got a lot of stories to get to. Not that one. This computer's tripping. I restarted it. We're not ready to save 10% on DC Shop yet. Let's wrap. Where are we going to start? Let's start with something serious. Now, this story has been in the news for a while now, but we have been on either hiatus or Soul Tales has happened, and we haven't had a chance to address something serious. Caleb Wilson, 20 years old, Southern University student, died of an alleged off-campus Omega Psi Phi fraternity hazing ritual in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in February. All right. Wilson's death was the direct result of hazing incident where he was punched in the chest multiple times while pledging. Baton Rouge Police Department Chief Thomas Morse said March 7th, okay? 3 members of the fraternity, Caleb McCray, 23, Kyle Thurman, 25, and Isaiah Smith, 28, have been charged in an investigation into Wilson's death. Here's what we know. I'm quoting, this is CBS. McCray, 23, has been charged with criminal hazing and manslaughter in Wilson's death. McCray turned himself in on March 6th and was booked by East Baton Rouge Parish Prison, Morse said. He was later released on bond, okay? 2 other suspects, Thurman, 25, Smith, 28, have been charged with criminal hazing and arrested on the 10th. Smith turned himself on 11th. Okay. Wilson and 8 other Omega Psi Phi fraternity pledges went to a warehouse of a flooring company on the 26th for a meeting, according to the arrest warrants. At this warehouse, they changed into gray sweats. Okay. McCray, Thurman, and Smith allegedly punched the pledges who were standing in line with boxing gloves. McCray was identified as a person who punched Wilson 4 times in the chest, according to the warrants. When Wilson was punched, he appeared to have a seizure and fell to the ground. The other pledges moved to a separate room while some fraternity members attended to Wilson. No one called or attempted to call 911 or tried to summon an ambulance. Wilson later put in Smith's vehicle and dropped off by a group at the local Baton Rouge Medical Center. The time between his collapse and arrival at the hospital was not immediately clear. Wilson's clothes were changed before he was dropped off. He was wearing black sweatpants, white socks when he arrived at hospitals. The individuals that took him to the hospital told staff Wilson collapsed while playing basketball at a park. All right. This was later determined not to be accurate. Wilson was pronounced dead by the medical personnel at the hospital. An autopsy identified a small bruise on the right side of his chest, but further information about his cause of manner of death has not been released. In the search of the warehouse, a pair of black boxing gloves were recovered. And there's no evidence that McCrae intended to cause death or bodily harm to the pledges during the warrant. Okay, but Omega Psi Phi has ordered all activities to be ceased. Southern University Historical Black College has launched an internal investigation and ordered Omega Psi Phi to cease all activities, and the university has banned all Greek organizations on campus from taking in new members of this academic year. Quick note on Wilson. He was 21. He was a junior at Southern University, majoring in mechanical engineering. He was from Kenner, Louisiana. He was a member of the marching band as well. His parents say he was a talented trumpet player, dedicated student, and a bright soul. Wow. So here we go with the few and far stories of hazing deaths, but when they do happen, we hear about them. And you think that every incident of hazing can at least be stopped, right? Or any death from hazing could be stopped, or this could be avoided altogether, because why do you need to haze? You know, and hazing is a personal thing, right? A lot of people say it's a personal issue, that when a time comes for you to pledge someone else, you either give back what was done to you, right? And most of the times you're not thinking about the results or negligence. So this has been a thing for a while, because here we go. 20 years old. Erica, welcome in. 20 years old. Amanda, good to see you. 3 the Hard Way, good to see you. Chad Anthony, good to see you. Let's talk about this takeover. Thoughts on the death of Caleb Wilson?
First, let me just say, a life lost too soon. That's for sure. As a parent, you send your child off to college to get, first and foremost, to get an education, to have fun and be involved in organizations, of course, but you never expect that something like this would happen, right? And, just listening to the type of young man that he was, a budding college student, mechanical engineer major, which is no easy, pursuit to take on, a member of the Human Jukebox Marching Band, which, another good time, that takes up a lot of your time. And just described as, smart and gentle and a caring individual. And this is something that he genuinely, he wanted. And so my hope is that Southern University will do something to, on the behalf of the life of Caleb and the type of young man that he was, to honor him. Maybe perhaps an annual scholarship, or a statue or memorial on his behalf. Now, granted, it's not going to bring back or reverse the tragedy, right? But Southern University needs to do what they need to do and make it right on behalf of future prospect members of any organization,
Right.
And so only, I'm waiting to see what will happen to those men that were arrested. And just my condolences to his family and friends. Sad.
Yeah. CB.
Yeah, this one was hard to to kind of research just from the standpoint of it's like just such a tragic story, and yeah, the idea that hazing is what it is, and it's super lame, and and it also just gets me that like some of these dudes are 25 and 28 years old, and
Roland, good to see you.
like what's the point of y'all being the ones to haze these like 20-21 year olds? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's just a lot about it that makes me sick, and I feel like Southern's acting in the way that they need to, banning all those activities and not allowing new members and all that stuff for the time being. It's just a tragic thing to hear, man. And you think about none of the kids wanting to call 911, get alert an ambulance or something like that. We remember being young, bro. You think that you're invincible. You think like you don't ever consider something like this is going to happen. And I think that the fact that it's clear that these guys didn't act soon enough, because who knows, maybe immediately if they had acted, to get the right people involved, that he'd still be here. So it seemed like they just made it worse by trying to wait it out.
Right. Now let me state this. Let me bring this all in, see if that'll work. All right, so now we all know at some point, we probably all know someone in a fraternity. Some of us may know somebody in this particular fraternity. And like when you think fraternity, you always think brotherhood, right? Like it's a long life brotherhood. At this point, you are here to learn about the beginnings, the findings, what this fraternity stands for and stands on, and along the way build brothership. But you also, yes, have to be weeded out from, I guess, the weak, right? And I don't mean weak as physically weak, but it's a mentally weak thing, right? I guess, to be part of this brotherhood. Now, I never understood why you have to tear somebody all the way down and build them all the way back up in order for them to be a part of your organization. And that's all. And that's typically what it is. Why do you have to punch me 4 times in my chest? And this is probably not the first incident of the hazing. This is just a bad result of the hazing, right? Why do I have to be punched, kicked, hit, or whatever, or be broken down as a man to be built back up in the stature of whatever your colors are, or whatever your letters are? That's not family. Like, because I'm gonna feel a certain way once I cross, and I am now part of this brotherhood. I'm gonna feel a certain. I'm not gonna forget that. I'm not gonna thank you for whooping my ass along the way.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, so there's the issue.
My ass.
The issue is just like, and it's probably a bad comparison, but you have bad police officers out here who just take a test and they're in, and then none of their issues have ever been resolved, and they go out in the street and have bad issues and bad service to the community. Well, here you are again. You have bad members of fraternities doing the same thing. They're just educated gang members. Yeah. And not all of them are bad, because not all of them are bad. Like the people that I know that are part of these fraternities are great people. It's a good networking thing. Like you're supposed to, this is a brotherhood, right? Like it's a brotherhood like me, CB, and E Rich have built. But we all have had our stripe. We've taken our bumps along the way together. Me and my best friend John have got 30 plus years in the game. And yes, we've had physical fights. We've had arguments. I've cussed him out. But it's never been, nothing has ever resulted in death. the resultant death is extreme. So, and now you've got guys in their 20s who are going to be in prison for a long time. And if this was supposed to be your brother, you changed the clothes and lied on how he died. Man up. I thought it was about being a man. You're covering it up. Yes, they aren't that bad. I'm married to a member of that fraternity. I know you are, T. I didn't want to say it, but you said it. Just some things I don't understand. It's not for me too. Exactly. And it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So, young lives lost, one in death, and other will be in the system for a while because of many bad decisions. So, all right. Let's talk about more bad decisions. Let's talk about this guy. If you don't know who that is, I'm about to let me bring you up to speed. Adrian Bronner. 18, 19, 20-year-old boy. Exactly. Put in a position of power and have gone too far. All right. Adrian Bronner, former champion. At one point, I don't know if he was a good boxer, but he was flashy. He made money.
It's like over a decade ago.
Yeah. So let's get to Adrian Bronner. The FBI has exposed a scam by former champ Adrian Bronner, who allegedly was running a rigged dice game and scammed NBA players out of $6 million. Who was accused of scamming a current all-star out of 1.5 million and a former player out of 5 million. Rigged dice. DKC, it's good to see you, Doctor. Out of rigged dice. How the mighty have fallen, right? If this is true, because it's all alleged, but the story is out there, the mighty have fallen. This guy who used to run next to Floyd Mayweather. Like, if we know Floyd Mayweather is very flashy. And, at times, walks around with a big bag of money. He's got planes, he's got cars, all that stuff that don't mean nothing if you're not constantly making money, right? And who's to say, I'm not here to count Floyd's pockets, but in this case, I want to sit here and talk about Adrian's pockets because this guy was signed to Floyd. He tried to carry that persona of money, right? And let me tell you, He was trying to build himself to be a big deal. Rolinism. He was trying to build himself up to be a big deal. He wanted to be the bad guy so he could constantly get fights, right? Because everybody wants to see the bad guy lose. You can't wait to see, the bad guy get their ass whooped in the ring. Like, oh, I can't wait for somebody to beat you. And for a while, he was winning. He had his. Never forget it. He was corny too. This Adrian Bronner. I remember Anisha. Good to see you. After one fight, he got down on one knee, act like he was proposing to his girlfriend. Asked her, would she brush his hair? Exactly. It was. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for you. So, and he got to the point where he started disrespecting money, which is crazy because now he's scamming people out of $6 million. He got to the point he was disrespecting money. He thought he was Floyd Mayweather. He thought he was the company that he kept. I remember him on live TV tearing up $20 bills and flushing them because he only wanted to carry $100 bills. How ignorant is that? I bet you he wish he had them $20 bills now.
I was gonna say, bro.
I bet you wish he had a lot of 20. This dude would take a penny right now. So let's talk about Adrian Bronner and how this guy's out here rigging dice games and scamming people out of $6 million. Oh, and the other part of the story was, in order for he even offered them to get their money back if they paid $100,000. Go ahead. CB, take over.
Yeah, it's we weren't even gonna have anything to say about Adrian Bronner.
Absolutely.
Until something like this comes up. And unfortunately, any of us that follow boxing, like, we're not surprised, really. It's a different form of tragic type of story, but it's also like, this dude just is he's always got something going on. And he's more than just that, I was getting cooked gif, you know what I mean? Like, It's unfortunate, man, but this might be the worst trouble he could ever find himself in.
Yeah, because at this point, he won't have to worry about where he's going to stay or how he's going to eat his next meal. It's going to be given to him.
I mean, so Roland, he touched on it. I mean, this is classic hood dude on some hood-ish, okay?
Uh-oh, you muted Takeover. There you go.
Like Roland said, a hood dude on some hood-ish, seemed like a chill dude at times. Like you said, okay, boxer. But I'm trying to think who actually trusted this dude to play a dice game with him, because to me, he just doesn't give me those vibes. He looks like low key, hey, I'm going to scam you. Watch out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's crazy because you just want to see somebody like this focus your talent, your craft onto something else. You know what I'm saying? You could have, maybe got into, professional gambling, did that and, made it big. I don't know, but to do it this way, I mean, 2025, this kind of stuff doesn't surprise me. Next, we're going to hear about, a scheme with a Uno draw 4 or something, I don't know. It's crazy, but this let me know two things. He was hurting for money, probably. And all of that, training in the gym didn't teach him discipline.
Yep. Nah.
And dude, if this is how AB is out here scamming people, let me find out he's the dude that's texting all those scam text messages. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bullshit.
I mean, this is crazy because if you think about, I should have looked up how much money he made in professional boxing, because he made it early. And then as of his last couple of fights, he asked the judge to let him box to keep him out of jail because he needed the money. And again, like when money is always going to win. You go to Vegas, you may be up for a little bit, but if you don't stop, the house always wins. Money always wins. And you're out disrespecting $20 bills because they're not hundreds, tearing them up and flushing them just because you hang around Floyd Mayweather. You don't have Floyd Mayweather money. And I bet you Floyd Mayweather ain't tearing up $20 bills.
Right. Definitely not.
He might have been at one point. Who knows?
And the thing is, he thought he was better than what he was in boxing. And that's the truth. He was just fighting guys. He just won for a while, and then it's always one. Once you lose one, let me tell you how bad he was. Well, how bad it got, because Manny Pacquiao was in his 40s and beat this guy in his late 20s, early 30s. So
it's my hero.
Yeah. What did Chad say? Scammer, right? Never blinks. Exactly. Okay. There we go. Moving on. Let me tell you, these people out here are crazy. Okay, so federal investigators seized thousands of intimate images during probe into ex-Michigan assistant Matt Weiss. Yeah. Thousands of photos, videos were seized by the Department of Justice as a part of investigation to former Michigan assistant football coach Matt Weiss. This is CBS, I'm quoting. The seizure was revealed in court filings as part of a lawsuit against Weiss and UM released on Tuesday. Weiss, former co-offensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh, was indicted in March for allegedly hacking into private accounts of students and athletes around the country to steal intimate photos. The indictment alleges that he downloaded the information of more than 150,000 athletes and used it to hack into social media, email, cloud storage, and accounts of more than 2,000. Primarily female college athletes. His alleged crime dates go back to 2015. Thousands of candid intimate photos and videos were seized from the defendant's electronic devices from his cloud storage. Many show victims naked. Some show victims engaged in explicit sexual acts. He faces 24 federal charges, 14 counts of unauthorized access to computers, and 10 counts of aggravated identity theft. He pled not guilty to all of them. You must got a good ass lawyer. If they're telling you they found this on your computer and you're not guilty, Jesus. Privilege. There you go. At least a portion of the alleged crimes occurred from December 21st to 23rd within Michigan's football facility. And he was doing the dirt in the facility. As the Wolverines prepared to play TCU in 2022 college football playoff. Weiss was suspended from Michigan in 23 when the campus police launched their initial investigation, citing only computer crimes. Well, if we could, as any race, as people, they got the good internet, apparently.
But let him use the Ethernet cable, you know.
Okay.
If we as people could use some of our talents or skill sets, this guy's apparently an amazing hacker for good. What? Can you imagine? And on top of that, let's not forget the investigation that Harbaugh was facing around the same time.
Yeah.
Privilege, absolutely privilege. But if we could use our skill sets to something more productive, Dee, welcome in. Can you imagine where we could be as people, as a country, times are bad, and you got this guy right here who was an assistant football coach, just hacking away, being a dirty old perv. Supposed to be looking up plays, scouting plays. He's scouting something TNA. Not X's and O's, TNA. All right, Takeover.
Man, I mean, stuff is just wild out here. So, I mean, this is like, he's like Coach Diddy, and I hate to bring Diddy in this, but seriously, my man, on Will Smith's internet, like you said, the internet can be very beneficial, right? But treacherous at the same daggone time. You know what? And I believe that this situation is closer to home more than we think. I would be willing to bet money that we all have at least one family member, friend, or acquaintance that we know who is very smart, tech savvy, but is tapping into someone's iCloud or Gmail account or their social media, and we just don't know. I'm thinking it happens more than what we think. And so, hey, it could happen to one of the We Are Something Else podcast members right now. We could have a secret admirer or familiar, stalker from afar. Who knows?
That better not be my phone.
Right. Mine either. But over 3,300 students' personal accounts. As a football coach, yes, when did you have the time and the energy to do this? I mean, my man was working overtime on this, seriously. And so, again, I am curious to see what his fate is going to be, because I don't ever remember a story quite like this. And so I'm curious about the outcome, but that just goes to show you the bro was self-taught. He was a self-taught hacker. So to me, if he can, be self-taught, anybody can do it. And that's just mind-blowing to me.
I should look at the numbers if they suffered in offense that year. Their numbers were down because this guy was focusing on other stuff. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's one, it's gross. Second, like you said, bro, this guy was an assistant coach at a top, program in college football. And he's just out there doing the dirty work. You know what I mean? Like, Kendall from the top rope. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those stories that it just reminds you that like anybody could be anybody, man. Like going on since 2015, you know what I mean? We're talking, thousands of photos and stuff. Like, it's just crazy. You would think that maybe he might have been using these talents to actually scout the other team, but nah, you know.
Yeah, nah, he's scouting something else, man. This is
just, you know, do what other people do and get yourself a OnlyFans, bro. Like, it's not that.
Pay for it. Pay for it. It's out there.
Now he's gonna really be paying for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know,
Allegedly.
those prison accounts.
Yeah.
All right.
Allegedly on his own computer.
Alleged.
Alleged.
And for the record, Takeover does not condone hacking, so don't go trying that at home, kids.
He was scouting other cheerleaders.
Probably was.
He was. He was.
Scouts.
Oh my God! What happened with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady? What was that about Miami?
Deflate gate.
Yeah. All right. All
Robert Kraft with the massage parlor.
Sheesh. All right, let's go to. All right. Well, let's round it off right here. Maybe some fancy language associated. CB got the OnlyFans. He playing.
And look at feet.
Only sneakers. Oh my God. We should start an Only Sneakers page and charge people to look at our sneakers. You know, kind of
so funny.
shoe
That's actually
pics.
kind of smart. Yeah.
You know how many people want to look at on feet shoe pics before they
Oh, no.
perverted shit right there. I mean, oh, let me see what the Jordan 6s look like on your feet. I mean, we may be able to do that. All right. Breaking news. This is like a Woj report right here. Stephen A is opening the door about running for president after dismissing the idea less than a month ago. Oh, Stephen, we can keep this a minute or less. Quote from Stephen A. Smith. Time to stop messing around. Life is great, especially at ESPN Disney. The 57-year-old First Take host said in an April 7th post on X. There's your first sign. Posted it on X. Who still uses X? Hate the thought of being a politician, but sick of this mess. I am officially leaving all doors open. The sports journalist who currently has a feud with NBA basketball player LeBron James has been floated by many as a potential White House contender. The calls for Smith to run have come given the populist wave the return of Donald Trump to the office and calls for a shakeup in the Democratic Party. Now, do y'all think this guy's a Democrat? He was on Fox News talking about. I don't think this guy's a Democrat. Okay. Anyways, Smith told USA Today back in March he didn't give a damn about the office and preferred sparring with political leaders rather than a big one. But let me go back to this quote, and then I'm going to give a quote. Time to stop messing around. Life is great, especially at ESPN Disney. The 57-year-old First Take host said, April 7th post on X. Hate the thought of being a politician, but sick of this mess, so I'm officially leaving all doors open. My quote. Nigga, please. Ain't nobody voting for your ass. Are you kidding me? Man, get the hell out of here. Thoughts, 1 minute or less.
So, I mean, I told the last Takeover Thursday, we were talking about Stephen A. Smith and the whole LeBron situation, right? I told you, I felt like that whole incident was giving Stephen A. Smith like life, you know, just like extra publicity. And here we are now, because this definitely came out of left field. But unpopular opinion, I don't know. I feel like I could possibly entertain this. Okay. Judge me if you want to. I you know, right now I'm the two T's. Okay. I'm traumatized and I'm tired. Okay. So I could possibly entertain this. Do I think the masses will? No. Ain't nobody coming to vote for you, Otis, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no. Stephen A. and that horrible hairline can go wherever he needs to go, because that ain't, come on now. Get out of here. Please.
Trina said that, you know, she thinks the LeBron altercation may have given him life. I think it might have given him a head injury. Like, this is just another distraction, man. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I don't need to see that dude's forehead any more often than we already do.
Yeah. It's so much shit going on in this world. It's even they need to leave everybody alone and just go somewhere, because that's the last thing I'm thinking about is voting for your ass. All right. So, all right, we got a new Takeover debuted. Hold on, let me get the. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. He's in the crowd.
Be Easy Shoe and Fashion Report.
But shout out to Takeover. She debuted a new segment last month. So tell us about this segment, Takeover, and what you got for us tonight.
Okay, so let's get it popping. So this segment is entitled In the Hot Seat. And this is when I like to put the fellas or wear something else in the hot seat. And I'm going to throw them a question that they are going to be totally caught off guard for. But my bros can handle it, right? So this Takeover Thursday, I want to discuss podcast pop culture, okay? As seasoned podcasters, right? Because you both have been in the game for a while. How do you feel about the state of podcasts? I mean, there are just so many podcasts out there. There's podcasts for anything and everything, men, women, cooking, relationships. How do you feel, honestly? Do you feel like it's oversaturated? Some people just should hang up the mic, or do you feel like there's enough out there to go around to, entertain somebody?
That is
That was the main questions we had when we first started this, right, CB?
Yeah. I will say that there is way too many to keep up with. But like most things, generally the best ones are gonna, the cream rises to the top, right? So yeah, there's generally a lot of trash podcasts and stuff out there, and anybody that considers themselves like, an influencer or whatever, they're gonna have something to say, so everybody's got a podcast, right? So it just really comes down to whether the crew that's doing it or the individual has the right personality to keep people engaged and want to continue to tune in. And I can't imagine everybody has a comment section like we do. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody just going out there and giving it a shot. But in general, there's way too many. And so unless you're really doing something to stand out and capture the audience, most fall to the wayside, bro. So, not too many get 200 episodes in.
Yeah, that's
right.
fact. And so,
Oh,
we lost you again. Muted again.
Mute again.
So of course, Kaleo, what do you think makes We Are Something Else great, essentially? I'm gonna put you in the hot seat.
So okay, me answer him real quick. Well, okay, what makes us great? I think that one, the longevity for sure. I mean, we're at episode 221 of just this podcast, and we found some lost episodes a couple weeks ago. Like, we've been at it for a while, and I think that we don't try to do anything that and be somebody that we aren't. Right. I am who I am here and off camera and on Station Ed. CB is who he is here and off camera and at work as well. And yeah, the market is definitely oversaturated because everybody has a microphone now. There's somebody for everybody, though. I try not to dog podcasts because, we're still in the midst of trying to get, picked up somewhere or get a major deal. Or we're still, people are still finding us, and it takes a while. It's like anything. Yeah. Like it's not going to happen overnight. The ones that typically happen overnight have money backing them, and we can say trash, like, again, they aren't good. They aren't well thought out. The machine is behind them. But I think what makes us great is we're homegrown. This started off of just CB and I working together and our love of shoes and just other things, and it just fell in line. So, and it's crazy that, when people typically start up now that I know podcasts, they do come to me and they ask me, what's the one piece of advice you can give us And the one thing I tell people is you can't buy chemistry. Because if it don't work, it podcast probably if it's not, you can't force chemistry. If it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work.
Right.
That's took a long time. One, we never tried to replace Superfly. That was chemistry. You know, E was a guest E Rich was a guest just a couple times before we decided let's add him in. It took a while, and we just didn't go out and find ladies for every week. Like it had to flow, right?
Right.
Like, I think all you ladies that we put in place work. And that's why we're not forcing the fourth one. We know it's going to come for the sneakerhead. And it's just going to happen. But you can't buy chemistry. That's just the thing. Like, and it's going to tell. And another piece of advice I give people that's important: don't take no time off. If you're just starting, you don't need to take week 3 off. Because
once you gain some momentum first.
Okay.
Once you take 1 week off, you're already in the break. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Hot seat. All right. I like it a lot. Let's pay some bills. See, this is another thing I love about this. So, D-Cup Customs, where you can save 15%. Use code WRSC15. What do we have?
Do you need a gift for yourself or for somebody special in your life? Look no further. Welcome to D-Cup Customs, where my lovely wife Doreen is a mad scientist and she can make stuff just like that, or this crazy cup right here, or anything that can pop into your imagination. And see these people in this little shot right here? Everybody owns something from D-Cup Customs. These aren't hired actors. We have rhythmics at home. And this is the crew who we love to sponsor. So before she raises her prices, like I'm always telling her to do, go ahead, order something, and use that code WRSC15 for a 15% discount.
All right. Shout out to our wonderful partners at D-Cup Customs, Real Estate Poppy, Doreen, who may be in some trouble coming up sooner or later. We love both of them. But no, go to dcupcustoms.com, save 15% WRSE. So till some Candace Owens. Oh my God, no. So where are we at right now? Oh, I know exactly where we are. Y'all weren't expecting this one. I'm gonna play the dude's intro. This regular guy says, "Who am I? DC shot by Lakers." All right. So this is where typically my bro E would be given his take on Is It Just E? So tonight we're gonna have wait a minute, go back. We got Is It Just K? Wait a minute, that's not. It's supposed to be. Who cares? So it's gonna switch when I put the graphic up. That's what's gonna happen. So my bro always, it's the unpopular opinion topic. And, he tries to talk about food. He's talked about clothes. He's talked about Oreos in specific, everything, So I thought about, okay, what would E do tonight? And I've had this one on the back burner for a while, literally. So I'm going to talk about struggle meals tonight. And I'm going to say the number one struggle meal that has lasted a lifetime, the test of time from a kid to an adult, because it was a struggle meal when you were younger, but as an adult, it is preference. And that is hot dogs and beans, or some of you may say Franks and beans. You cannot tell me that this didn't save a lot of your stomachs back in the day. Wasn't a lot in the refrigerator, wasn't a lot in the cabinets, but you had hot dogs and you had beans. And if you didn't want to put the hot dog on a bun, you put them together in a pot. And whatever concoction you put in with them, amazing. This struggle meal, I'm not, oh my God. Bougie, get off. No, she didn't.
Shout out to Risa. Yes, I'm with her.
I'm trying to tell you, struggle meal, number one struggle meal that stood the test of time is the hot dogs and Frank's. For Latinos, eggs and weenies. CB, thoughts on hot dogs and beans?
Us Filipinos, we put hot dogs in our spaghetti. And yeah, I will say, not really, I'm just not generally opening up a can of Bush's beans on any kind of regular basis. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, nothing like a glizzy at the turn, bro.
I don't know. I'm with Risa. First of all, I've never eaten that. I'm sorry, Kaleo. I'm sorry. I've never eaten that struggle meal. I've seen it before. Be Easy's talked about it. He, I guess was loving it as a child. No, I cannot. If my hot dog wasn't on the bun, I couldn't eat it. Pause.
All right, but see, this thing, you go from the struggle meals. PB&J is a struggle. Is that a struggle meal? Or is that just a kid all around kid favorite, the PB&J? I don't think that's a struggle meal. Well, maybe it could be. All right, but you go from the struggle times to the times where you can afford DC Shop High, and if you can't, save 10%. WRC 10 at the DC Shop High. Shout out to Grant. Shout out to Margaret. Wonderful folks. The official pizza of the We Are Something Else podcast. You got the steak and cheese. You got the salmon pesto. You got the regular cheese. Look at that. Drop the bottom bread pudding and the flats. You got the big chair. You got the Georgetown, which is a gyro. The big chair is a fried chicken and mambo sauce pizza. And guess what? They ship worldwide. So get yourself a DC Shop High. Save 10%. Use the code WRSE 10. All right, CB, what do we have for that Copper Chop this week?
So, a couple years ago, the SB Jordan 4 was like the sneaker of the year and everything. And one of the shoes that's really going big this year for Nike is the Air Max 95. And we're getting an SB iteration of these as well. This week we just got these picks, the best look that we've had at them yet. Haven't seen any prices yet, but the neon big bubbles that are coming out, those are being priced at $180. So I would think maybe because of the SB tag on there, maybe they push it up to $200 or $225. I don't know, but how are y'all feeling about these? Would you be interested in anywhere between that $180 to $225 price range? And thoughts on, Nike doing an SB and Air Max collab. I think these are dope.
Yeah, I'm down. This is definitely a cop for that price. But the question is, we know what they're doing with the other ones. If we get access to them, that's one thing. But yeah, I'm down. This would be a cop for me.
Yeah, those are a cop for me as well. The colorway is cute, and I think it'll be great unisex. So. Good pick.
Good. All right. Where we at now? Ooh, shoe and tell. Show some sneakers, and then let's get up out of here and get everybody on with their evening. I'm gonna start off, obviously. Orange Nike box. What's inside? Well, y'all know I just came from the festival, so I'll show y'all some of the kicks I was rocking down at the festival. We got a little bit of Air Max. What are these? These are those
are 90s.
90 drifts. Pick the natural colorway tones as brown, a little bit of orange and blue.
They look like Florida vibes.
Yeah, kind of Florida
University
vibe.
of.
Yeah, so I wore these down. These are one of the pair of kicks I took to the festival or down to Raleigh. I wore them around Raleigh. I didn't actually wear these at the festival. Thought they were kind of heavy to wear. I'll show you the other ones I wore probably next week, perhaps. But yeah, simple shoe, dope. This was under $100 off the Nike website. I think they may have been like $80 or something like that. So yeah.
Got a story before I show these off. I've shown this pair of shoes before, but something's happened over the last year or so, and my feet have actually gone up like a legit half a size. And the original pair of these that I got them a little bit small at the time because I actually wasn't sure what size I needed. Ended up being much more on the smaller side, but I persevered because they were a super dope pair and they completed a set that I have. And it's just gotten to the point where I definitely cannot wear them anymore. So I actually gifted the pair that I had to one of my boys because instead of selling them, even though I probably could have made back at least what I paid for them, because I'd only worn them a few times, but I thought it was a lot cooler to actually just give them away to one of my boys who I knew would get a lot out of them. But this is the box.
Oh wow, really? You had to rebuy another pair of those?
I did. So how
nice.
hot the light is. But these are the the Adidas, one of the ZXs, the Resto Mod, and these are the Goku pairs. So I've shown these off before, but these now I actually have them in size that I can wear all the time. So these
Dragon
are
Ball collection.
Yeah, these are going to be getting some run, kind of tailored off of Goku's gi and everything.
Yep.
And the box has like special paper, and like I said, if you have all the boxes from the set, it creates an image. So
yep.
Thank you, Reese.
Nice. So I have a story too. So this week's sneaker, I definitely it reminds me of my father. My father, he's old school. And to this day, he still rocks these, and he will go out and buy them in different color. And he is just the flyest thing walking. Shout out to my dad. But sometimes you just gotta, keep it simple, keep it cute, and just rock, a simple pair of Converse.
Yeah.
These may not be the cleanest, okay? Maybe due for a new pair.
They're getting some run.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Converse because it's that nostalgic feeling of my dad and the story he tells me. So
okay, dope. Brings out Stacy. All right. Boom. Right. Monarchs.
Monies.
Oh my God.
The Monies.
All right. So real quick, where else can you find us? Let's talk about our partnership at Gen X TV because that's where we are as well. Let's go to Gen X TV, download it on the Roku and or Fire TV app, Fire, also known as the Fire Stick. Download us there, Gen X TV. Watch some of our cataloged episodes there, but also you can watch the exclusive Smoking Spiel that we shot live like 2 weeks ago. We reviewed the movie Boomerang. It was all 6 of us. It was me, CB, E. Rich, Takeover, Jen Glenn, and Sammy Slated. We did a review of Eddie Murphy's 1992 classic, Boomerang. It was fun. It was fun doing that. More to come, more movies to do over there, more shows to do over there live at Gen X TV. Shout out to Coach Kim, shout out to Ebony, shout out to Chauncey for this wonderful partnership that we have built, an amazing relationship over there at Gen X TV. So, all right, we got the weekend coming up. Anybody got plans? Anything special going on?
We'll see if the weather holds up. Y'all know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I just want to relax, kick back, and I think I might tap into do a little reading and some writing.
Speaking of reading, do you have a book to read yet?
Who, me?
Yeah, do you have a book?
No, I don't.
Are you familiar with the Snarky Mac Book Club?
No, I'm not. Put me on.
Oh, this is a perfect drop.
Oh,
Wow.
here we go. The Snarky Mac Book Club, which if you haven't been on Station Head on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Snarky sessions, we have a book club, Snarky Mac Book Club, and we read ratchetness or we listen to Audible. And we've read such books as The Coldest Hoe Ever, or that Old Part Next Door, right? So we're now on our next book. It's a wonderful piece of literature called A Gangster's BBW Obsession. Part 1, because there's 3 books, but we're going to start with part 1. So the Snarky Mac Book Club, changing lives through literature, through work.
I'm here for it. I'm here for
buying
it.
my books, and I'll be able to retire. Keep it going, guys.
Exactly. So if you want something to read, partake in the Snarky Mac Book Club. And we always review the book. I believe it's typically at the end of the month. Gives us there's E-Rich right there. Typically give us a month or so to read it. But yeah, Gangster's BBW Obsession by Miss Lady P. Yeah. All right. So I got it queued up in my Audible. I partake in the review. So if you need a book, read that. But if you need something great to listen to, you can start by getting on Station Head tomorrow, everybody. Download, most people at this point know, the Kindle B Show, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Mountain. The Kindle B Morning Show, Monday through Fridays. Tomorrow's Funky Friday. And if you guys were not in Kindle Show on Monday, no, wait a minute. Was it Monday? It was Tuesday. It's only 126 pages, 4 hours, 40 minutes on Audible. But Kindle's Tuesday show, the beginning of the Babyface celebration, that show went off the rails early. And there's no turning back from that. But let's do the replays too. Tuesday was Tuesday because Monday was Pharrell and we were driving back. So tomorrow after Kindle B Show, the Abstract. We have something else for the Abstract with your boy Kaleo, 12 p.m. Eastern ish. 12 p.m. ish on Eastern time, whatever. I'm ready to go. And also YouTube.
Our show is 9:30 ish.
Yeah, right, exactly. Our YouTube family, 3 the Hard Way on Tuesdays. Real Estate Poppy, Jen, and Doreen, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. And then on Thursdays, right before us, I Hate It Here, got Erica and Marissa, 8:30 Eastern. On YouTube. But real quick story, because tomorrow, on the Abstract, we're going to talk Dreamville. We'll go more in depth of the Dreamville experience, but I got my two buddies here in the chat. I want to talk about, finally got to do the meetup, and I met Amanda and Edmund while I was down in Raleigh at Biscuitville. And I say this all the time, as adults, we always tell our kids, don't go out here and meeting strangers off the internet. Literally, it's one thing to talk to people every day in the chat and kind of get a gist of who they are, but it's another thing to put yourself out there and go to meet somebody. And let me tell you, and so far the people that I've met have been who they say they are. It was amazing meeting Edmund and Amanda in person. Wonderful people, wonderful couple. Had some great laughs and a little bit of time. They blessed me with some eggs and some amazing pear honey that I've tried already, which is amazing. So I thank them again too. Even got a great picture, but great stories and just amazing friendships being built. Like just the genuineness of people out here in this world. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out here. Every time you turn on the news, a plane is clipping another plane on the runway. There's another something being signed away. Tariffs. The shoe prices are getting ready to go up. It's a lot of bad things on the news, but there's a lot of great people out here still, especially in the Kindle Beehive. Can't wait to meet more because it's just the beginning. And I'm just glad of the community that we've all seemed to become a part of. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm going to be Amanda. They are. No, amazing time. Just great laughs. Nothing felt forced. And, it was just, please do not end up on a milk cart. And then we were at Biscuitville. Shout out to Biscuitville. Like that.
Love Biscuitville.
Oh.
Biscuitville. You're talking about, I want to take a trip down to Raleigh just to go to Biscuitville. That's an easy drive.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
That is an easy drive. Look, that's all we got. We are just at this point just chatting away. But yeah, make sure everybody see y'all on Kindle Be Morning Show tomorrow. Then after that, the abstract, because I got Dreamville stories to tell. A lot of good stuff into that show. But that's all we got. I gotta hit one little button.
Follow us on YouTube at WRSC Podcast. Be sure to like.
Ain't coming, I ain't vision in the past, but then jumping to the bag. Ain't coming, ain't.